This is a 2025 Ram 1500 RHO, and it's time to go. It's time to trade it in on a new truck and do something new on the channel. Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. In this video, let's talk about this truck. I have 16,000 miles on it. We'll talk about my likes, dislikes, after the ownership experience of it. And then we'll talk about the new truck in another video. And for those longtime viewers, are always asking questions about why don't you keep them longer, why don't you keep these trucks for like 5 years, 10 years, whatever. The best analogy I have for you is think about this channel as a shoe store. You walk by the same pair of shoes every day, it gets boring. You stop looking at the pair of shoes, stop looking at the store itself. Yeah, you gotta freshen things up, guys. Gotta get new vehicles, new things to look at, new pair of kicks, as the kids call them, on the channel for you guys to look at. So let's go ahead and check out this RHO. I'll tell you what I did to it and what I think about it. So I'm gonna flip the camera around, let's get to it. Okay, so this is a 2025 model. It's the white and black, you can see the dual color. And I haven't done a whole lot to it because it's pretty badass as it is, right? So we did do the PPF coating on here, the film, paint protection film from Expel. They installed this for me, we did this on the film. You can kind of see a little, sometimes you can see it on camera, sometimes you can't, but the film is on there. It goes around the hood, around here, on the front, and then they actually cut out the lettering as well, so it actually is right there in the letters. And then it goes all along the pillars here towards the back, okay? And then on the rear, this is ceramic coating on the rear, which I tell you, I'm pretty impressed with the Expel process and how well it came out. And it does make the truck look a lot cleaner, and it is easier to keep clean. For a white and black truck, I was really concerned about how I was gonna have to wash it all the time because I filmed these trucks and I wanted to make sure it looks, halfway decent on camera. But even with, a little bit of dirt back here, you can see the dirt, if I can show it on the screen, it just lays differently and just comes right off the fingertips. It's just a unique feel to the ceramic coating on here. We did add the Mopar running boards. Mopar sent me those. These are their off-road running boards. They've been great. They're great in the wintertime as well because they have the notches here. So on your shoes, the ice, the mud, that kind of stuff just goes right through. It doesn't get into the cabin nearly as bad. And then I'm thinking about what else we did. Oh, and the rear, added a Mopar step because I'm a shorty. Yep, that's right, guys. I'm not very tall. We also added a Mopar direct connection exhaust. One of the first ones in the country to add this exhaust. I have videos for that on the channel as well. It improves the sound. It doesn't drone. It actually, this is interesting. I should actually talk more about this, but when you're towing with this exhaust, it actually sounds a lot better. I towed our camper to Michigan on the way out to get this exhaust installed, and the exhaust was killing me. The note was just like, it's just a drone. When I got this installed on the way home, it was so much better. It just, I don't know what, all the, I don't know, audio note files out there can talk about it, but it just made the drone go down, and it made the whole experience a lot better when I was towing with this camper with that exhaust. So you can get that from Mopar. They have a new direct store. And then in the bed, reached out to Real Truck, and they sent us a bed rug. I've never done a bed rug before, and I gotta tell you, I was really impressed with it. This truck did not come with a spray and bed liner, and so I wanted to do a spray and bed liner, and my friend talked me into doing a bed rug, and I like it. It's nice and soft on your knees when you're crawling in here to get stuff out or whatever, and then, I probably vacuum this out. This truck needs a good detail, but it's been a good experience with this. And then you can just take it out. You can just take it out if you want to. It's not permanent, and it doesn't, like I said, scrape you up your legs like the spray and bed liner does. And again, this is like a off-road sport truck, right? So I'm not hauling dirt and gravel in this. So I was like, this made more sense for us. We were camping with it, golf clubs, luggage. This made more sense. Then we added a gator, right? Yeah. If I can show it on the camera, let me get the camera a little bit. The gator retractable tonneau cover. There's a lever here. It goes back to 3 different settings, 1, 2, and 3 all the way back. And then this has been nice. It's nice to have this, just sliding back and forth. Used it a lot. Had it open, closed, variety of things, and I'm a big fan of that one. Fairly expensive, but it's on realtruck.com, and you pick this guy up, and it just has a nice look to it, nice solid, and then when you close everything up, just a nice overall finish to that bed area of the truck. Again, it's not a work truck. I'm not hauling gravel in it. I get it. It's a sport truck. I'm hauling golf clubs, equipment, camping gear, luggage, and this just is great for keeping all that off of that, snow off of that, dirt off of that from coming in over top, and it's nice finish, I think, on this truck. In the rear, all I had was these Lays Fit floor mats, or Laws Fit. I guess I say it wrong. People correct me in the comments. But they had a one-piece. Mopar had a two-piece. This is a one-piece, like that quite a bit. And I actually used what I was calling the bootlegger bin quite a bit. So I'd keep toe straps and stuff in there, different things, tie downs and stuff, and some cleaning wipes or for, like, you know, accidents and stuff in the cabin. I like that quite a bit. Have one on both sides, and then I had, you know, lots of storage underneath the seats. I like both seats fold up. They slide and recline. Doing road trips to kids was fantastic because they like the slide and recline aspect of this. I don't know if I can do it with the camera, but it does come out a little bit. Yeah, I can't do it with one hand with the camera, but this bottom seat comes out. It reclines back. Pretty comfortable. There's USBs back there, a real plug, vents. It's just a really nice rear seating area, I should say, markedly, in the rear for this for the family. They really enjoyed this truck. Really had a good time riding it. And surprising too, because I think with these big tires, right, 35-inch tires, that they would be a rough riding truck, and you hear the noise. It rides so smooth on dirt, on highway, on city roads, paved roads, whatever. You know, the Blackhawk 2 Bilstein shocks, everything about this it just rides really nice. And I know there's always gonna be people gonna say, well, you know, you didn't take this out in the Baja and beat it up every day for like 7 months or something. Well, yeah, so what? Do you take your sports car to the track every weekend? Doubtful. So I just really enjoyed driving it around, and I did some off-roading with it, and I just enjoyed it was such a smooth ride. It was like, I'd rather take this than other vehicles I've had in the past, because it just was smooth to ride with the tires, with suspension, and this Hurricane engine. This is the high output, 500 some horsepower, 540 pounds torque. Wow, that sucker moves. Inline six, very smooth. You don't feel any vibration. You hit the gas, you're gone. The only problem I have is I did notice the difference between premium fuel and non-premium fuel. So I really want to put premium in this truck, which is what it recommends. And that's expensive at the gas pump. It's a $100 bill every time I fill this up. And that's one thing I didn't do a lot of these videos on this truck was fuel economy testing, because who the hell cares? It's a sport truck. Okay, so inside the cabin, the speakers are great, HarmanKon's great. I like this button here, it's my favorite button ever, massaging seats. I've had some back issues over the years. I'm finally getting straightened out. And I gotta tell you, heated massage seats on the way home from Dallas in the snowstorm when I bought this, that was the bomb. That was just awesome. I just love the styling. Everything held up pretty well. Didn't have any scratches. What do we have for payload? Payload was 1,402 pounds, which I thought was pretty decent for this truck. I've heard a lot of people complain about Ram payload being the lowest in the market, and I'm like, in the segment, I'm like, I don't know. This wasn't bad. The leather held up pretty good for I had this for about a year, and again, in and out quite a bit. You know, I expect some wear there, nothing there. Just everything was great on that. So inside the cabin, what did I add in here? Oh, I added our friends at Screen Protect sent me a screen protector. It goes on here, covers the screen up. It was nice. You can see this big screen only has a couple little fingerprints I can just clean off like this. It doesn't have any scratches or anything. Visit screenprotect.com. Pick up 15. I'll put discount code down below. Check it out. They give me the screen here. We did the screen protector there and the protector here. So if you are curious about fuel economy, I'm getting like 13 or something, which again, I don't really care. So then we have the drive modes here, four-wheel drive settings here. I have a video of just talking about just what all this means. A lot of people really love digging on that video, so check that out as well. I did launch mode a couple different times just because it was fun. This screen here, you get in a level 1 group. It's the passenger screen. I got to say that we tried to use that so many different times. Well, a few times it worked all right? So one of the keys to that screen is navigation. So on a road trip, my wife was sitting in passenger side, or I was sitting passenger side, and I could put in like the destination and send it to the big screen. And then I would just click the button as a driver and it would set destination. That was nice. We did try to hook up my son's cell phone so he could watch like movies on there. It went okay. You can Bluetooth your headphones to it. So, and you can choose music too. So we had hit or miss with that stuff. It wasn't as big of a feature as I thought it was going to be as far as doing more videos on it, because it just doesn't have a whole lot of functionality. But having the option to do navigation on the road trips and send it across, because you know how that works on the native navigation systems where you gotta pull over to put the address in, that kind of stuff. That was nice. But a lot of times I'm using Apple CarPlay anyways, so I'm using Waze, or I'm using Google Maps, and so I just hey Siri, and then I just do it. So it wasn't that big of a deal.
Okay, so how much does this truck cost me? How much did I make? How much did I lose? What's the bottom line on having a Ram for, say, 14 months, right? So I bought it in January of 2025. It's now March of 2026. I've made about 13 payments at $1,188 a payment, and a new one coming out next week, which may or may not hit. We'll get those numbers because I just traded in this truck as of 3-4 hours ago on a new truck for the channel. And I'm excited to show you that one, but you have to watch the video tomorrow on that deal because I haven't even filmed it yet. So how does it all work with this truck? So we know from the other videos, if you've been a fan of the channel and you've seen them, I bought this truck from Mark Dodge in Lake Charles, Louisiana. He's a volume dealer. So he gives discounts based on how much you spend because he's trying to sell a lot of volume of trucks. So if you spend between $80,000 to $89,000, he gives you 10 grand off. So this truck stickered at $84,000 that's a fully loaded price. It's level 1 package, all the details of that truck. I got 10 grand off because of Mark Dodge discount there. I did a video talking about how much I was going to buy the truck for and all this kind of stuff about Mark Dodge. That generated so many sales leads for the dealership that the owner gave me another $1,000 off basically in goodwill money because I created so much business for him. So cool, because I didn't make that much money out of that video. So 84,000 turns into 74,000, turns into 73,000. Then when with the purchase of the truck, Ram had a rebate going on of $1,000. So now to 72,000. So I basically bought a truck for 72. I just looked at my retail loan agreement from the bank and I financed 77,983. That included $4,000 in sales tax. I may or may not do that again. It just depends how you want to do sales tax. So in my case, last year, it wasn't a great year for me. So I wanted to include in the loan so I didn't get hit so bad when I registered the truck. This year's a little better. Maybe I won't do it the same way this year. But so the total price was $77,983. Let's call it $78,000. So $78,000. I'm going to trade it in on a new truck. I can sell this truck outright and probably make a little more money, but there's a couple factors in play. First of all, I pay the sales tax difference between the new truck and the old truck, or I sell it outright and I got to capture that much profit to put that sales tax towards the new truck I'm buying. In the case of Nebraska, when you trade it in, you just pay the difference. So, and I think a lot of states are this way too. So I want to trade it in because it just makes more sense to me as far as a sales tax aspect. I don't have to worry about the sales tax back and forth. And plus, I live in a really rural area and trying to sell something that's $80,000 in a rural area where the median income's, I think, $40,000. Difficult to say mildly. So it's easier for me to trade these things in. So let's see, 78 was my retail contract. I had made all these payments. I was depending on when this check hits, this last check hits next week. Either I owed 69,000 or 68,000, depending when it hits. And so I traded this in for 65,000. That's the average trade-in. I talked to dealership in town, dealership in Louisiana, actually called Mark Dodge, and checked a couple of dealerships. So 65 is about what the dealers want to pay because they're going to send this stuff to auction because that's just how they do the business. So I'm and how they want to mark it up and make their own money off this truck. And I had like 17,000 miles on it, which frankly for me was outstanding. I drove that thing a lot. Usually I don't put that many miles on them. So I lost anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 depending on that check hits, which is actually the same number as the sales tax was. So if I had paid the sales tax outright, I probably would have broke even after 13 payments. Okay. Now I ended up doing 25 videos on this truck, which may surprise people. I heard a lot of people in the comments saying they didn't see this truck as much as they thought they saw other trucks. I'm not really sure why. The numbers actually are the same of the F with the XLT Power Boost. I think I actually did more videos than I did in that truck with this RHO. I had the 22 Toyota Tundra, the 23 Chevy Silverado, and then this Ram truck. So really, I did 25 videos. That's quite a bit. Now, the videos themselves, I brought in a net profit of $4,000 in all those videos, which is pretty poor, to be frank with you. I should have done better with this truck, but I think it's the wrong truck for this audience. I think it's too aspirational. People just didn't seem like they liked it. They didn't want to ask a lot of questions. Just something people weren't shopping for. So I think in the future, I need to buy like a Bighorn or something more, the $55,000, $65,000 range for the viewership, because I should have made more money off this truck, to be honest with you. But I own a small business. So I write the trucks off as part of my business expense. This is a business asset, right? So I'm allowed to make some changes to my taxes because they made some changes to tax rules. So you could say, well, hey, you drove this truck, you bought the truck for 78, you sold it for 65, so it's $13,000 you lost. Or you made $13,000 in payments. Okay, so how does that work out in your head? And you could say, well, you only made $4,000 in profits. So actually, really, 13 minus 4 is what, $9,000. So I lost $9,000 if you look at it that way. I look at it as fact. Okay, I drove a truck for a year. My family and I did camping with it. All the adventures we do with this stuff. I did the videos on this stuff. I had a business asset I used, and I get a tax write-off, which is going to be a lot more than that $9,000 difference. It's easy for taxes for me. It makes a big difference when I buy trucks as far as how much savings I get. So I probably had a net profit, but for an average consumer, if you're going to buy this truck and make those $1,100 payments, which are pretty high, and keep it for only 13, 14 months, yeah, you're going to expect to lose, I don't know, look at the numbers. You'll expect to lose 13,000 after making those payments plus those payments. So add the payments together, you're looking at 26,000. If you add the payments plus what you lost, and that's if you didn't go to Mark Dodge. If you just buy it at your local dealership in town that didn't give you 10 grand off, the picture gets even worse for those consumers. But business-wise, I'll be okay. All right, for more videos and the new truck that's coming, make sure you come up over here, website down below as well, pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.